today to witness another exciting event in the field of auto racing in New Hampshire International Speedway. May we enjoy every moment of the race and return home safely at the end of the day. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Please remain standing for our national anthem, which will be performed by Geraldine Sawyer from Burrowville, Rhode Island.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Geraldine. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back in just a very few minutes with the command to start the New England 200. Our color guard today from the U.S. Coast Guard Boston District, please again direct your attention to the start-finish line as the command to send the field on its way in the New England 200 will be given by Mike DeMeo from Stillian Electric.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
So the cars fired alive here at the New Hampshire International Speedway, and we're ready to go for 200 miles for the NASCAR Busch Series. Hi, everybody. Bill Weber along with Wally Dahlback and Benny Parsons. Thanks for having us in for the race. There is rain in the forecast for this afternoon, so we're in a little bit of a hurry up, as you might be able to tell from today's opening ceremonies. But we're excited about today's race. And Benny, you think because of this track configuration, some guys may have a benefit here this afternoon?
I think so. For the first 16 races of the year, everyone talked about the Cup influence. They won every race. But race 17, Milwaukee, some of the Busch regulars moved forward. Paul Menard, the 11 car, won the race, beating some of those Nextel Cup drivers. Also, David Gilliland won the race in Kentucky Speedway. But here, this racetrack, very similar to Milwaukee, I think maybe Paul Menard and Jason Leffler might be a guy that has a chance to win today.
Tough to pass on this track. You have to work very hard for positions. A lot of hard work done in the pits here today.
Yeah, I really think the pit crews are going to win this race for you today. And it's a lot like Chicago last week. I mean, Brad Parrott made a great call. Got Casey Mears his first win, got him track position. I don't think anything's going to be different here today. It is tougher to pass here than it was last week at Chicago. So you're going to see some different strategies, but it's going to be very, very important, again, track position.
This Busch race should be a lot of fun here at the New Hampshire International Speedway. Take a look at the starting grid for today's race. Race number 20 for the NASCAR Busch Series. Kyle Busch and Clint Bowyer on the front row. Right behind them, Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick. Then Jeff Burton and Scott Riggs.
In row 4, we find Reed Sorensen, Jamie McMurray, Carl Edwards, Dave Blaney. There's Greg Biffle and Aaron Fike in row 6. Wally, who are you talking to today?
See if we can get a hold of Reed Sorensen. Hey, Reed, this is Wally in the booth. Can you hear me? All right, one more time. Reed Sorensen, this is Wally Dallenbach in the booth. Can you hear me? Well,
I heard
guess.
about half of that.
Hey, Reed, this is Wally. Can you hear me okay up in the booth? And we're having troubles, guys.
We tried 3 times. Reed in the car, getting ready. The engines have fired. As you continue to look through the starting grid, go back to row 16, where you'll see Michael Waltrip and Carl Long, Stacy Compton, Danny O'Quinn back there, Ashton Lewis Jr., and Matt Kubiela.
Curtis Davis, Stanton Barrett, Derek Cope, Shane Hall, Peyton Sellers. He was the NASCAR Saturday Night Champion in 2005. The late model series, I think, the Dodge late model series, I think is the official title.
Again, 43 drivers came here, 43 ready to go in today's NASCAR Busch Series race. Final stories from pit road. Let's start with Marty Snyder.
Reed Sorensen, like most people, they'd just rather not talk to Wally. But Scott Riggs today had a good qualifying effort. You guys saw qualified up front, and because of that, has an excellent pit stall, an easy entry, and more importantly, an easy exit off of pit road. And some people consider this pit stall that Scott has the best one on pit road. Several cup races have been won from this pit stall. The biggest concern for the 9 team today is the weather. They're set up for hot, slick, sunny conditions, and unfortunately for them, it's cloudy and a little cooler than they expected. Their car was tight in qualifying. That means it should be even tighter during the racetrack. They expect several big changes early on today. Matt?
Marty, Greg Biffle would just like to get back on track. He hasn't had a top 5 finish in NASCAR Busch Series competition since May, but he's also a little sore after crashing during a testing session at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway earlier in the week. Now, Biffle a little sore in the neck and rib area, but he has a lot of success here in the past, but just not in Busch. He finished 2nd here in trucks, finished 4th here in Nextel Cup, never scored a top 10 finish in Busch Series competition. Now, he has a great pit selection. Now, Kevin Harvick, the championship point leader, is right next to him, but there's a big opening, so he will have an easy entry into his pit stall, which is right before the start-finish line on the front stretch. Today, Burns.
And Matt, the equation for Clint Boyer in the 2 car in 2006 has been 2 equals 2 times 2. Can't seem to get the 1 out there, the win that he wants so bad in 2006. Twice, Clint Boyer has finished in the 2nd position this season. Now, this race car that he's in has actually been a pretty good one for him, but they've had to fix it twice after it's led laps in a race. Phoenix leading, got into a crash. Fixed it for Milwaukee, leading, led some laps, and then near the end of the race crashed again. They had to fix it again. So they're hoping this time, after fixing the 2 car again, they can get the win. Alan?
Well, Carl Edwards is 2nd in the NASCAR Busch Series Championship. Unfortunately, he's about a mile behind Kevin Harvick where the points are concerned. Carl was so pleased with his car during yesterday's practice session, he quit early. He said, I can't think of anything more we can do. He starts back in 9th place today. I just talked with him a minute ago. He's excited about his chances to win this race and maybe close some ground on Kevin Harvick in that championship race. Bill?
Thanks, Alan. You guys enjoy the race down there this afternoon. Take a look at the race analysis here at the New Hampshire International Speedway. 200 laps, just a tick over 200 miles. And Benny, how about that pit window for fuel there?
93 to 98 laps, but someone said they might try to make it on 1 stop. So it seems like every racetrack we go to, fuel ends up being an issue before it's over with.
We'll see how that plays out here this afternoon. Take a look at the championship standings in the Busch Series. Alan talked about Kevin Harvick's big lead, 323 points over Carl Edwards. Battling Boyer for 2nd. Kyle Busch in the 8th position, and on down to Kenny Wallace in 10th.
Mark McFarland back in the Navy car. Had to set out a couple of races because of an injury suffered at Milwaukee.
Paul Menard,
the winner from Milwaukee.
That's right. You think he could be a factor here today, BP?
I really do. In practice yesterday, at one of the practices, he was the best car.
J.J. Yaley with an onboard camera today.
Now, there's a guy looking, I mean, he's a victory waiting to happen.
Carl Edwards just ran in the modified race they had here at New Hampshire International Speedway. Finished about 30 minutes ago. Unfortunately for Carl, he finished about an hour ago. Good line. On board with Kevin Harvick,
NASCAR Busch Series points leader.
And Kyle Busch also has an onboard camera here this afternoon.
Some of the crew, I said, what happened to the crash yesterday? Youthful exuberance.
Talk about Kyle Busch.
Yes.
The crew said that.
Yes, the crew said youthful exuberance.
14 different winners in 2006 in the Busch Series. 5 of the last 7 races have been won from a top 4 starting position. Gonna add a lap here before we go green.
See, now that plays into the guys that are thinking about making it on one stop. That extra pace lap, that's more fuel they're using.
And you cannot come in and top off anymore.
No, that's right.
You talked about Kyle Busch having a little incident in practice here. This is yesterday here at New Hampshire.
Comes off turn 4, and there's that exuberance that we were talking about. He nailed the throttle, but the rear tires would not quite stick.
And he almost got away with it. Almost missed that inside wall. Did a little damage to the front, but not too bad.
There were a handful of cars to run after he qualified, but after his qualifying lap, he jumped on the radio and he goes, guys, that lap's for you. Basically for all the hard work they did getting that car ready. And I talked to some of his guys on pit road during qualifying before he went out, and they said they think this car is better than it was. And Kyle's probably a little more determined than he was too. But those guys worked hard. He got it on the pole.
There's nothing like a driver making a mistake for that driver to step forward and do a good job to try to make up.
But you always want a driver that's hustling, that's trying hard. Fans, follow your favorite driver with real-time telemetry and in-car audio with TrackPass from NASCAR.com. Subscribe today and get it at a discounted price. To learn more about TrackPass, go to NASCAR.com. Field coming out of turn 4, coming to get the green flag. 200 laps here at the New Hampshire International Speedway this afternoon. Kyle Busch ready to take the field to the starting line. The green is out, and we're racing on TNT.
Wow, good start by Kyle Busch. Looks like Denny Hamlin is going to follow him through.
Denny Hamlin about to lose the position to Clint Boyer in that 2 car.
Boyer around on the outside. Takes second. Really critical to try and gain as many positions as possible while this field is still bunched up.
See, Denny Hamlin in the 20 car started in the 2nd position, 3rd position. He almost started at the rear of the field. He struggled in that first session in NASCAR Nextel Cup practice. He was talking to the crew, trying to get that car better to Mike Ford and the crew. And we see that Peyton Sellers on pit road in that 31 car. Alan, what's going on down there?
Yeah, Benny, you see that wrench in the right rear jacking bolt? I think I stopped counting at 10 when I started talking. They had a setup under that car to make sure Peyton Sellers got into the field on his time trial speed, so they had to make some adjustments now so he can race on it.
And the first caution of the day. Tracy Hines goes around.
To continue on Denny Hamlin, the driver's meeting, the driver has to attend that. The penalty is to go back to the field. He walked in just as they started. Another 30 seconds. Oh, he tries to stay off the 36 car of Tim Sauter, and in doing so, spun himself out. But another 30 seconds, Denny Hamlin would start at the rear.
I think you're right, BP was just trying to avoid contact with Tim Sauter, and he just turned it down, got a little bit loose.
This is Mark McFarland on board with him as he sees the car in trouble, and luckily gets by on the outside.
He's got some damage. We're under caution early here at the New Hampshire International Speedway. Kyle Busch, the race leader. You're watching NASCAR on Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series by Allstate, official insurance sponsor of NASCAR, and by Crestor. Visit Crestor.com and ask your doctor if Crestor is right for you. Field coming out of turn 4, heading for the green flag. With 5 laps complete, Peyton Sellers was the lucky dog, and Kyle Busch is the race leader.
Burton taking a look at the 77. kind of get underneath Scott Riggs there in the 9 car.
I tell you, here comes 21, Kevin Harvick on the inside of Denny Hamlin.
He was trying to make that move when the caution came out before.
Scott Riggs in the 9 car this week. And he's making a move on Harvick.
Harvick just couldn't keep his car down. It looked like his car was just sliding, especially on the restarts. He just tried to get that car to stay on the bottom, but didn't work for him.
Marty?
Well, guys, as we talked about, Scott Riggs was a little concerned because his car just would not turn in qualifying with these cloudy conditions. It's much worse right now. He said we need some major air pressure adjustments on the next stop. He just cannot get that car to turn in the middle of the corner, and you saw that was where Harvick went right around him.
There's Riggs, and right behind him, the 77 with Jeff Burton in the seat. Matt, that's a good story this week.
A great story and doing a great job. Now, he has 5 NASCAR wins here. He is working on number 6. He just said the car is a little free, but it is turning so well in the center of the corner. He's very confident about later on today, but like a lot of guys, keeping an eye on the weather. Burton just settling in the 77 car.
Normally driven by Bernie Lamar. Bernie's here this weekend. Go ahead, BP.
And Bernie told me that he was observing this weekend. He's trying to figure out how to relate to the crew, how they can adjust the car, how they can make it better. They were not getting better. He says he's going to be in this car the rest of the year, but they needed someone like Jeff Burton to kind of show him the way.
And he was amazed what Jeff Burton could communicate to the crew chief and the rest of the crew in just a short amount of time. And he said already this weekend that's been the biggest advantage of having Burton in the car, that Bernie has learned by listening instead of driving.
And I don't think he's really looking for Jeff to set the car up for him. He's looking, because every driver's got a different feel, but you're right, he's trying to listen to see how Jeff is explaining what the car is doing to the team.
Denny Hamlin runs in the 3rd spot. Dave Burns with an update.
And Bill, he's been listening to a lot of drivers on how to compete better in both the Busch and the Nextel Cup Series. Last year here in New Hampshire, his best finish of the season, 3rd. And that was for the first race of the year, this one. This weekend, the car just mediocre at best for Denny in terms of the way it was handling, so they left it as it was for qualifying. Sure enough, it ran a great qualifying lap, and so far, he's standing stationed in the top 3.
Right behind Clint Boyer in 2nd and leader Kyle Busch. Talked to Boyer on the grid during qualifying, said this car for the Busch Series was extremely stout, but he wasn't very happy with his Cup car, so they'll be working on that in the motor coach lot tonight. Alan, what are you working on?
Kyle Busch, who I had a conversation with just before the start of the race, Bill, and he told me after the crash damage to this car on Friday that we talked about earlier, he wasn't sure that this is a winning race car. He said, I feel pretty confident it's a top 5 car, maybe a top 3 car, but I'm going to have to wait to get into the race to see if it's a car we can win with. He's looking pretty good so far, you think?
I think so, and his guys on the qualifying grid were very confident of car and driver. Then he turned in a great lap.
Almost got that thing real sideways getting into the corner there.
But I tell you, that entry he's making in the corner is going to make him lose. He almost hits the wall while he's going down in turn 1.
Yeah,
as he enters the corner.
And then he really pulled his steering wheel hard to the left. So you have to be careful with that, because, you know, now these guys, after about 15 or 20 laps, they're going to start seeing where their cars are at. Everybody's pretty much on an even scale when these cars first run here. But now they're going to start getting tight or loose. You'll start seeing guys sliding up in the middle of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 a lot more. The guys' cars that roll through the center, like that 2 car right there, those are the guys that'll pass a lot of cars when these guys start getting tires on their, or a lot of laps on their tires, because that's what it's all about, is getting through the center of the corners here at Loudon.
Busch cars practiced here yesterday, qualified this morning. Now Boyer looking inside for the race lead. This is off of 4. Busch holds him off at the line, but Boyer may have the preferred line here.
See how that 2 car just went through the center? That is what you want. That's how you want your car to handle here in New Hampshire.
Dave?
And Wally, you want it to stay pretty free all day long, or at least not get really, really tight so it won't turn through the corners. And that's what Clint is reporting to his crew right now. Car just a bit free and a little bit slick from the modified race Bill mentioned earlier that just took place here. Rubber's a little bit different from the different sets of tires and trying to deal with that slickness. I guess he's doing it pretty well.
That's a good point. We didn't really hit on that, but you're right. The rubber on the racetrack and the modified race is a little bit different, and it's going to make your car handle a little bit differently until that stuff gets picked up.
Clint Bowyer, the second leader of the race. Kyle Busch led the first 15 laps. Clint Bowyer, the leader at New Hampshire. TNT Sports live at the New Hampshire International Speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire. 22 laps are complete, and Clint Bowyer has worked his way around Kyle Busch and into the lead. Denny Hamlin runs second, Kevin Harvick third, and Kyle Busch has dropped back to the fourth position, just in front of Scott Riggs. There's the 21 of Harvick.
And Clint Bowyer just didn't take the lead. He has a 2-second lead over Denny Hamlin.
He is beginning to find himself in lap traffic now.
That guy, the 41 car looks pretty good right now. Reed Sorensen running some good laps. He caught these guys, but I think he's got a pretty good handling race car right there.
And he had a good run on another flat track earlier this season.
Yeah, Phoenix finished second. So maybe they've got a pretty strong flat track program.
Jeff Burton in that 77. The 9 is Scott Riggs. And they're trying to chase down Kyle Busch, Alan.
Yeah, Bill, I heard Wally talking about it a little while ago, just watching Kyle Busch and how it looked like he was having trouble getting off the corners. I heard that correctly, right, Wally?
Yep.
Called in about a half a minute later on the radio and said he was tight from the center out, meaning the car won't turn like he wants it to. They've just had a discussion on the radio now, crew chief Chad Walter and Kyle, about what adjustments they'll make on an upcoming pit stop.
Yeah, you start seeing a lot of these cars now look like they're starting to get to the tight side. They're using a lot more racetrack in the center. And if you're sliding the car in the center, it's going to hurt you definitely coming off the corners.
And you don't get a lot of time to work on your car in these 200-mile races, do you? We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will take you through the field. Clint Bowyer leads Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Scott Riggs in the NASCAR Busch Series race in Loudon, New Hampshire. Clint Bowyer continues to lead today's NASCAR Busch Series race here at the New Hampshire International Speedway in Loudon. He's led 15 laps. Kyle Busch has led 15 laps, and this lap will put Bowyer 1 lap ahead. His 16th lap led. Let's take you through the field and start with the race leader. And here's Dave.
And Bill, I was going to do that math for you. That means 16 laps led, right?
Very good.
Right, okay. Hey, 2 words describing his own race car. Pretty awesome. He just said that over the radio 2 laps ago, so I think the rest of the field might really need to watch out for the rest of the day with Clint Bowyer. As for Denny Hamlin, his car has gone from a little bit free, wants to spin out, to a little bit tight in the middle of the corner, wants to push toward the wall. That generally happens here at New Hampshire. They'll have to work on that 20 car.
Dave, the championship point leader, Kevin Harvick in the 21 car runs in the 3rd position. Harvick says the car just needs help, needs front grip so it'll turn better in the center of the corner. He even told his crew chief, Todd Barrier, who's helping out this weekend, due to his normal crew chief on suspension, told him, look, just make the car as free as you can on exit. Don't worry about it being so free. The car just too tight. Alan?
Kyle Busch started on pole. He's fallen back to 4th position. And that falling back, we're hearing the signs of something that Kyle has worked very hard on over the last 12 months of racing, being patient inside the race car. Very calm, was very willing to let guys with faster cars go early in the race to get his car adjusted for later. Matt?
Reed Sorensen in the 41 machine had a great Nextel Cup weekend in Chicago, hoping to carry that over to New Hampshire. Runs in the 5th position, about 8 seconds out of the lead. He says his car is really, really loose. Now the 77, Jeff Burton, he says the car is loose, but turning well. It's just too tight on exit. To Marty.
Matt, on lap 12, Scott Riggs came on the radio, said, guys, the car really hard to turn. It's tight through the center of the corner. Then on lap 14, he said, man, it's getting worse, guys. They're going to do track bar and wedge on the next stop. He said, you know what? It's about a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. It's about how tight this race car is. Alan?
Carl Edwards is running next in line in the 8th position. He started 9th, has only moved up 1 spot in the opening run of the race. He's struggling with his car's handling in the center of the turns. Feels like that's where he's getting outrun, and they've got some adjustments planned for the next pit stop. Marty?
Dave Blaney in this 32 car. Allen started 10th. He's currently made his way up to the 9th position. That's gaining 1 position, if my math is correct. Tight on the throttle, he says when he hits it, the car just wants to slide up the racetrack. You know, they've steadily improved. Every race this team has run, 15th at Charlotte, 13th at Chicago. They think this car is going to finish better than that today here at New Hampshire. Jamie McMurray is in the 11th position. His car, or the 10th position rather, his car is tight, loose as well. He said that they finished 5th with this race car, finished 5th here last year. A brand new race car, they struggled with it all weekend long. They finally gotten it better, trying to make their way back to the front. Matt?
Greg Biffle in the 16 machine runs in the 11th position, matching his best career NASCAR Busch Series finish here on the Magic Mile. Now, Biffle says the car is tight, but it's especially shaky when he's on the bottom underneath someone in the corners. Right now, just trying to hold his own. Marty?
For the last few laps, Johnny Sauter's been one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. Very loose at the beginning of this run. Car came in very nicely. He said it's starting to tighten up right now, but he's making his way towards the front of the field in the 12th position. Jason Leffler, who loves these flat, fast racetracks like New Hampshire, finished 4th with his car at Milwaukee, was leading late in the race. The car right now tight in the middle of the corner for Leffler, meaning it doesn't want to turn. Alan?
J.J. Yaley started 17th. He's moved up to 14th in the opening run. I kind of use a golf analogy to describe Yaley's season so far. He's 5th in the championship. You know that thing about best guy never to have won a major? Yaley's the best guy not to have won a race so far this season. They think it could come any day, perhaps today. Matt?
Mike Wallace, who took over the 1 car earlier this season, runs in the 15th position. Now, his best finish here in New Hampshire with a 3rd back in '95. The car too free to start the race. Hasn't said much on the radio since, but keep in mind, most teams, like we talked earlier in the race, Alan, looking at possibly 1 stop today.
Paul Menard running next in line, that neon number 11. Here's a guy who started back in 25th position. He's moved up to 16th. This is the very same car Menard used to win a race on the Milwaukee Mile about a month ago. A track very similar in shape to this one. He thinks they can get up front and contend here today. Matt?
And Aaron Fike, his 3rd start in the 33 car out of the KHI stable, says the car is tight. Now keep in mind his crew chief Wally Rogers has a great record here. 7 NASCAR races, 6 top 10s. His other finish, they were running 3rd when they lost an engine. Alan?
Todd Cleaver drives for Roush Racing. He's in the 06 machine. He's a 28-year-old from Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, that would be, one of the rookies on the NASCAR Busch Series circuit, making his first ever start in a Busch Series car here at New Hampshire International Speedway. He does have 1 previous race worth of experience here in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, Dave.
AB, you talked golf earlier. That's what Regan Smith wanted to talk about. He said, I knew it'd be a good weekend in New Hampshire when I got here and was crushing the ball off the driving range. He's lost a couple of spots since the start, but he says, I've got the most grip in this race car I've ever had on a flat track. Matt?
Speaking of one of the Sauters, the 01, Jay Sauter currently rounds out the top 20. Now the car, both tight and loose, had a great qualifying effort, just trying to capitalize with a strong run here this afternoon. Bill?
Thanks, guys. You got us through the top 20. There are currently 29 cars scored on the lead lap, but that's about to change because Clint Boyer continues to knock off a couple of cars every lap. Michael Waltrip and Stephen Light just knocked off the lead lap. So 27 cars scored on the lead lap. John Andretti 21st, Scott Wimmer 22nd, John Wood 23rd, Kenny Wallace 24th, David Green is 25th, then Stacy Compton and Mark McFarland round out the cars running on the lead lap. Clint Boyer up front in that 2 car, looking for the win at New Hampshire. Wants to take his team to victory lane this afternoon. Take a look at our Wendy's race menu. A lot of action coming up on TNT. And we continue from New Hampshire tomorrow, 1:30 Eastern time with the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. And our coverage begins with the Bank of America Countdown to Green. That's 1:30 Eastern time tomorrow right here on TNT. And I'll tell you what, Clint Boyer is not real happy with his car for tomorrow, but I'm thinking he likes the one he's got here, Dave.
And remember, earlier he described it as pretty awesome, which was a true but somewhat bold statement. Recently on the radio, he said, anybody even close? Now, he wasn't being arrogant, Wally. What he was trying to do was to know how much he can save his stuff. And so when you start hearing lap times about other competitors, how do you know, how can you tell from that how to take care of your car?
Well, when you have a car this good, I mean, he's not running it 110% right now. I mean, he's running the car hard, but when a car's running this good and it feels this comfortable, he's not working as hard as you think. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are struggling right now that are working a lot harder. So I think he's asking questions because he thinks it's too good to be true. I mean, he's looking up in the mirror and nobody's even around him. He's passing cars left and right, and he doesn't want it to end. He doesn't want to see a yellow. He would like to see this thing go green all the way.
In fact, it was interesting because his team responded back, well, nobody's close to you. And he goes, no, that's not what I mean. I want to know what they're running, so I need to know, how much I need to drive it to stay ahead of him, like you were saying.
Hey, Dave.
Yes, Bill.
Don't say arrogant and Wally in the same sentence, okay?
And Dave, every once in a while, somebody will run a faster lap as Boyer laps these cars. But if he's on the racetrack in clear track, he about every time runs the fastest lap of the cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, that's great. And just watching him, it's kind of like a clinic out there now, watching him dice through this traffic.
And we're just a quarter of a way through this race, and already just 20 cars remain on the lead lap. Update on Kyle Busch from Allen.
Hey, I want to do this as well. Looking from inside his race car forward, Kyle just called in on the radio and said he's got a bunch of stuff that just splashed up on his windshield. That's the camera from on top of the car. Of course, we've got film that goes across and cleans off from that. But he's having a little trouble seeing right now, apparently. So that means somebody out there is leaking something. Right. That's not good.
And that can be very distracting.
Yes, it can be, and depending on what it is. I mean, if it well, that's really not that bad, really.
That's at the right-hand side.
That's not too bad. And if the sun was out, it would be even worse. But there is a lot of, you can see there's a lot of spray or something on top of on the windshield. So you're right, somebody's leaking something, and I'm sure there's a few other guys that have it on their windshield now too.
Two more cars have fallen off the lead lap, so Boyer continues his blistering pace here. Now let's see if we can pick up what Allen and Kyle Busch were talking about.
Well, everything sure looks fine here, but
right there, he's getting something from that car in front of him. I can't tell who that is.
Is that Tim Sauter?
Hurry up and pass him. We'll find out here in a minute.
I think it's Tim Sauter, the 36 car.
Looks to be. And we get confirmation it was the 36 car. So he has to fight his way through that battle. In addition to everything else he's got going on, currently running in the 4th position.
But that's something a driver will, you know, if you're kind of out there running and not really bored, but I mean, you're not thinking of anything else, you've got to tell them that, because when it gets closer to a pit stop, and we do have a yellow coming out, when it gets closer to a pit stop, you get busy and you forget to tell them to clean the windshield.
Caution is for debris on the track. Debris in turn 3, 56 laps are complete.
Oh, no. I wonder who's not wearing a glove out there right now.
Oh, boy.
Somebody needed a yellow. My glove just flew off and it flew out the window.
That looks like a safety worker's glove. That doesn't look like a racing glove. Didn't have a shiny
rubber. These guys wear all kinds of
grip
different gloves. I would say that's a race car driver's glove.
You're pretty much supposed to have those when you're driving as well.
You know, they had that mystery someplace earlier in the year, and they never did find out.
Now, if you're smart, you'll have a third glove in your car when you throw one out the window.
Is that how you did it?
That's how I used to do it.
That gives the NASCAR inspector something else to look for during pit stops and post-race to make sure everybody's got 2 gloves. So pit road is open, and it will be a very busy place. Clint Boyer's had an excellent race car since the drop of the green flag.
5,000 at the cones there at the line.
Keep an eye on him and see how things go.
Well, where's second place there? Finally comes Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Busch.
That'll tell you how big Boyer's lead was. Let's start with Marty.
Well-timed caution from Scott Riggs, who radioed his crew on lap 53 about 3 laps ago and said, guys, I cannot hang on to this car much longer at all. It's going to be one round of wedge into the right rear, one round of up on the track bar, trying to loosen this thing up, Matt.
Phil and crew chief Todd Barrier's called for an air pressure adjustment, shuffling the pressures on the left side. Good stop so far. The car was tight, just needed it to turn better into center, Dave.
Clint Boyer's work already completed on pit road. 4 fresh tires. They made no changes. That was a suggestion from the driver, who has gotten out front and stayed out front. Alan?
Kyle Busch's stop will probably be a little longer than normal. They took the time under the right rear of the car to pull a spring rubber. They also got a windshield tear-off off to clean up that messy view.
A long stop for Clint Bowyer, but he had all that extra time between first and second, so take your time, guys. Make sure you get it done right. 57 laps are complete. You're watching the NASCAR Busch Series live on TNT.
This is Duralast, the alternator built to exceed the need. Built with heavy-duty components to perform under extreme conditions, engineered to surpass original equipment standards for longer life. Built with the technology to withstand high electrical demands, and backed by a nationwide lifetime warranty. Get the alternator built to exceed the need. Only at AutoZone.
Continue to work under caution here at the New Hampshire International Speedway for the NASCAR Busch Series. 60 laps are complete, and Clint Bowyer is scored as the race leader. We think we know where the mystery glove might have come from.
Aaron Fike, last car on the lead lap.
He's been black flagged because he's missing a glove.
No.
Had a story about he took it off to get some air in the car, put it on his lap, and now he just can't find it.
Ever tell you the story about Pinocchio?
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about it while we go to break, okay?
Well, there was this little boy, and
yeah.
Every week, millions of viewers are making.
Watch Inside the Circle on the Outdoor Channel car.
It's windy inside those cars sometimes, but there goes the glove.
Green flag's out.
And we see Aaron Fike leaving pit road, serving a 2-lap penalty from NASCAR.
For causing the caution. He came across the radio and said, "We're not going to get penalized for that, are we?" He had this long explanation about how his glove was just missing. And
he couldn't find it?
Couldn't find it.
Oh, trouble!
Is that Regan Smith?
Regan Smith got turned head onto the wall down the backstretch.
Come down, come down, come down.
That is too bad.
Wonderful, we're done for the day. Yeah, he just drove right into the back of us.
Third caution of the day. And this is a young kid that
Come on
is
down, Reagan. Come on down to our pit stall.
really working hard.
There we see the 10 car, John Andretti, thinking about going by on the outside, and I guess Regan came up and just caught him in the right rear quarter and turned him head on in the wall.
So Regan Smith heads to his pit stall. Just 16 cars on the lead lap. Clint Bowyer is the race leader.
Your engine knows what it wants. Pennzoil Platinum. Relearn what you know about synthetic at pennzoilplatinum.com.
Some race, huh?
Oh, yeah. You should have seen it. He got just a little bit loose coming off of turn 2. And going down the backstretch, I got right up on his spoiler and we started off into turn 3. He got loose and just lost it.
Getting ready to go green. Todd Cleaver is the lucky dog.
Green, green, green.
Bowyer, Harvick, Hamlin, Sorensen, and Edwards.
Clear and slowing traffic on these restarts, real important. We got the top 3 cars pretty much have done it. Reed Sorensen needs to clear. And I think Reed's got a pretty good car. I don't know if it's as good as the 2 of Bowyer, but it's a pretty good car right now. The top 4 guys clear traffic.
Sorensen also said his car for tomorrow is pretty good.
Carl Edwards now clears. 59 of Stacy Compton, who's a lap down.
And Carl Edwards is going by Reed Sorensen. Gets position coming off turn 4 and takes that spot away. And the battle for second spot. Here comes Denny Hamlin on the inside of 21 Harvick. Could not quite make it. Kyle Busch, the 5 car. Looks like he might have had some help getting turned around off turn 2.
On board with Busch.
Sorry, Bill. It's just going to take a while for these guys. I mean, these tires, especially you look at the left front tire on these cars, there's no air in them. I mean, so it takes a little bit of while to get these pressures built up. Like I said, it takes 10 or 15 laps before you really see what you have, because everybody's fairly even right now on tires.
And that's similar to how Bowyer's car worked at the beginning of the race, too. Not spectacular at the start, but about 10 laps in, started running down the leader.
Just took off, and I think that's the same as Reed Sorensen in the 41 cars. Better, longer into the run.
Well, Dave Burns is with a very dejected young man, Dave.
And that is Regan Smith. Regan, what happened out there?
I don't know. I got the luxury of instant replay in front of me on the next television here, and I guess I need to implement Daytona Talladega rules here, because Don Andretti just drove into the back of me, getting in the corner, turned me in the wall. It's a shame. The McDonald's Ford Fusion was really good today, and we were lapped down early, but we had made an adjustment and trying to get the lucky dog there. Just disappointed for my guys, and I don't know what he was thinking. Evidently, he wasn't.
And that golf analogy earlier, Bill, I suppose he might have hit one of them at the driving range to the right a bit.
Yep. We can relate to that, huh, BP?
Oh, yes, we can.
Bowyer's still up front, and Harvick's still hanging on. Dave?
So, Wally, you know how sometimes your first idea isn't your best idea?
Yes.
Just say yes.
If I ever had an idea.
Well, there you go. So Clint Bowyer says on the radio to his crew, hey, I'm a little bit free at the start of the run. Just tell that to Kevin so he doesn't, gang up on me at the start. Crew comes back and says, I'm not going to tell him that. He might just use that to his advantage. And then Clint comes back and says, yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah, I think you're right too, Dave. That's probably a smart move. Don't show him your weakness or tell him where it's at, because he'll definitely go for it.
Well, Dave, weren't you talking about how he was trying to learn strategies, running both races and learning in-race strategy?
Well, and part of the problem going back and forth is that sometimes you forget which car you're doing what to, but you try to apply what you can. In fact, during the first caution, crew owner Richard Childress was talking with Clint, hey, buddy, that low line is really working for you, isn't it? And Clint was saying, yes, it was. And they were talking about, couldn't we apply some of this to our Cup car tomorrow, which, as you guys have mentioned, isn't running quite as quick as the 2 car today.
Good point. Denny Hamlin trying to work on Kevin Harvick for second.
And once again, Clint Bowyer, the 2 car, after a few laps, starts putting distance on that second place car.
Update on Reed Sorensen in the 41 car from Matt.
Well, running in the 5th position, the 41 car, as he works the inside of the 60. Now, Wally touched on it earlier. It seems like Reed is better on the back half of the first run. They made some air pressure adjustments, lacking balance-wise grip on both the front and the back of the car. Too tight in the center, but too free on exit. They hope they improved on that with the air pressure adjustment. Meanwhile, talking about the 21 of Harvick, right as they had that restart, we were going back and forth with conversations with his teammate. He said, I'm not going to wait here very long. But then the 2 cars really came in. You can see him pull out a little bit of distance there, Wally.
Yeah, it looks like the 21 car is really good on the first 5 or 6 laps after a start or a restart, but he just looks like he loses grip in the front of the car.
Kurt Busch runs 6th, then it's Blaney, Sauter, McMurray, and Greg Biffle rounding out the top 10. Behind race leader Clint Bowyer, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Reed Sorensen, and Carl Edwards. National Speedway on TNT is brought to you by Carfax. Never buy a used car without Carfax. Get a Carfax vehicle history report. Ask your dealer or go to Carfax.com. By Crestor. Visit Crestor.com and ask your doctor if Crestor is right for you. And by TGI Fridays Restaurants, introducing seven amazing new dishes on our new entree menu. Everyone could use more Fridays. Clint Bowyer leads by about 1.5 seconds. Races for second right now. Kevin Harvick in the 21. Denny Hamlin in the 20.
And Hamilton is getting that low line to work for this 20 car. Kind of like the 2 of Clint Boyer, but not well enough to get by Kevin Harvick.
So Harvick is watching Boyer pull away.
Oh, trouble off turn 4.
Tracy Hines is involved.
As Peyton Sellers sitting there behind Tracy Hines. And the 0 of Curtis Davis also drives away from that crash.
Caution number 4. There's Sellers, the 31 machine. Let's see what we can see here.
Never see the 3 cars all running together, and Tracy Hines just gets in the back of the 31 car. Oh my goodness.
And had some company in the door.
Man, oh man. That's Curtis Davis in the 0, about flipped.
That's a wild ride.
It is. He's still continuing around the racetrack.
His heart's beating a little faster. Pit road remains closed, so we'll take a break. Fourth caution of the day at New Hampshire. Clint Boyer is the race leader. You're watching NASCAR on TNT.
The drama.
Well, they tried to sneak in a couple of laps of green flag racing, but they didn't get too far before Jason Leffler brought out the caution.
Spun around up in 3 and 4. Doesn't look like a lot of damage to this 38 car. So watch him go in the corner. Augie Vidovich, the 4 car, goes up and just makes contact with him.
He was trying to squeeze in between 2 cars, and they ran out of room.
Another look here.
I guess that was the 0 car that Augie was trying to squeeze between the 38 and the 0.
On board with J.J. Yaley.
Looks like the 4 car got loose and then ran into Leffler.
McFarland is the lucky dog this time. Scott Wimmer was the lucky dog on the previous caution. And part of the cause of that could have been they got all jammed up about 3rd on back when they were racing for a position. Under caution here at New Hampshire, our 5th of the day. Green flag has just come out in the field into turn 1. Clint Boyer is the race leader, but keep your eye on the 21 and the 20, Harvick and Hamlin. They had an exchange on the previous restart and then showed some displeasure under caution.
And Hamlin is going to try to go by on the outside. Is Harvick going to run him up the hill?
I would say so, BP.
Looks that way.
That is what you call running somebody up the hill. Unfortunately, they're going to lose a couple of spots, or that car lap down.
That car's a lap down.
Waltrip, yes.
But Sorensen is trying to get in there. That's not going to work.
Slow motion spin.
Oh, that's it.
Yep.
Stephen Light, the 90 car, comes along and hits the 41. The 64 McMurray backs her in turn 1 wall.
And that all started with one guy running another guy up the racetrack.
Yeah, because they had issues.
And that pretty much happened on the previous restart as well.
Yes.
With the 21 and the 20.
Here we go. They're 3 wide. Carl Edwards, a 60 car. Here comes Kyle Busch. Boys, they just don't fit. I mean, 3 abreast at New Hampshire. Well, it doesn't fit.
Now, usually the guy in the middle should back out when you're in a situation like that, because if you don't, that's what happens. The guy in the middle is normally going to pay. Or the guy on the outside, but that could have been avoided.
Matt?
Bill, the spotters running back and forth on the roof. Now, a little earlier, Harvick, as you're watching the replay, looking back at the 41 of Sorensen and the 20 of Hamlin, Harvick asked his spotter to tell Hamlin, please do not wreck me on the straightaway. Hamlin's response was, tell him that if he cuts me off turn 2 again, I'm going to dump him. And Harvick said, well, if you do that, ready. then you better be ready. And then you can see what transpired after that.
It kind of started with Hamlin giving Harvick a little shove down the backstretch.
Yeah,
letting him know he was there.
It was more than a little shove. I mean, it looked like he got the rear wheels off the ground of Kevin Harvick's car.
All right, let's go back and take a look.
Okay, watch a 20 car. He'll drive up underneath Harvick, and he gives him a pretty good shot right there. And then you'll see Denny go to the high side, and Harvick didn't like that much. He's just turning the wheel to the right now.
This was about 4 or 5 or 6 laps ago.
And then the caution came out for Jason Leffler.
That's right.
And this was under caution after the yellow flag for Leffler.
Yeah, Hamlin pulled up. He didn't appreciate getting run up the racetrack in 3 and 4, so these guys, okay, so now runner yellow and they're mad at each other. So you just know something's going to happen under the next restart.
Dave.
And Denny Hamlin, when he got run up the racetrack on, I guess it was the second time when he was passing this last green flag run, said, I can't pass him much cleaner than that. That was right before this caution came out. And settle down, definitely, coming from everybody. The left front fender, though, is something Denny Hamlin has to have his team keep an eye on. That was damaged in some of these exchanges here, so I'll have to watch that. Just a little crinkle, it looks like.
Yeah, it's okay.
NASCAR has warned the drivers of car 20 and 21, Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick, to settle down on the racetrack.
That damage on the left front came when he made contact to the 41 and Reed Sorensen. That's where that damage came from.
Update on the pole sitter from Allen.
Yeah, we saw Kyle Busch in the jam up there trying to avoid Reed Sorensen. Looked like he might have just gotten a glancing blow off the 41 car when he got by. Kyle is pulled up beside Denny Hamlin. They've had Denny look at the right front tire of the 5 car to see if it might be going down because Kyle thought he had a vibration. They have determined that they're okay, that maybe Kyle just got some debris on his tire from running down on the apron of the racetrack, and he should be just fine, so they'll stay out and not pit.
93 laps are complete, with 19 cars currently scored on the lead lap.
You know, we ran 60 laps, green flag.
Yeah, we did.
Hard to believe.
Oh, it is hard to believe. I don't think we're going to run 60 more laps.
Well, everyone will be watching Harvick, who restarts second in the 21 car. Hamlin is fourth. In the 20 car, Carl Edwards in between him in third. Boyer, the race leader. The green is out.
Yeah, Carl Edwards might be the best thing in the world that happens to Harvick and Hamlin. He's the buffer.
Try to clear the 27 car of David Green.
Harvick taking a look, but I'll tell you what, I don't think anybody can get underneath that 2 car right now.
How about Carl, AB?
Hey, Bill, you know, sometimes when we're watching a race or people watching a race at home, you can sort of see things happening, right?
Right.
Well, Carl Edwards saw all of that happening, even without the benefit of hearing all the radio traffic that we were between Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin. He was very aware when that last restart happened that something might break loose in front of him. He was on the wheel, ready to anticipate, avoided it, picked up a spot in the process, and has a clean race car to continue trying to win.
Always paying attention, you drivers.
Well, yeah, when you start driving, ooh, a little loose there for Harvick. He's going to possibly lose a spot. Carl Edwards in the 60 car.
But look who's right behind the 21. Denny Hamlin's going to try and pass him on the inside as well.
A little loose, lost it. But yeah, when you're watching stuff like that, you know when a driver's jacking with another driver. You know when there's an issue going on. Just the way the guys drive each other, like driving somebody up the racetrack like that. So. And you like it because you think they're going to take each other out or give you a couple of spots when they're messing around with each other.
There's Hamlin on the inside of Harvick. Going to try it again.
And once again, Kevin Harvick got loose the same spot that he got loose a moment ago. And this time, Harvick does not fight him. He does a slide job on him.
Wow. You cannot get much closer to the guy's rear bumper than that.
Hamlin gets the position. Harvick loses the spot. It also kind of, does it take your focus off your main objective?
Yeah, because you just want to get the other guy.
So Carl Edwards was...
That's exactly right, Kevin. We believe you. That was Kevin Harvick telling Todd Berrier.
A lot of talk this weekend in both the Cup and the Busch Garage about paybacks in NASCAR racing. Be a subject on our Bank of America Countdown to Green tomorrow. coming off the wild finish at Chicagoland last week in the Nextel Cup Series. And Jeff Gordon got into the rear bumper of Matt Kenseth. Gordon went on to win the race. Much more on that tomorrow on the Bank of America Countdown to Green.
Now all of a sudden the 20 car, Denny Hamlin seems to be struggling to find speed.
BP, I think he just slipped that one lap off to that last lap. I saw him go high up on the racetrack, and it looked like he just lost a little time there.
Alan, what are you learning down there?
Well, Bill, we just crossed about to cross the halfway point of this race, and it turns the event now for the crew chiefs down here on pit road into a game of strategy. Should we see a caution in these next 10 laps, it really puts the crew chief on the bubble of a decision. Do I pit? Will I get enough caution laps to make it to the finish? Or as Carl Edwards, crew chief, told me this morning, is my car handling bad enough that I'll have to pit later on in the race, or will it be good enough to hold my position on the track? Last year, Denny Hamlin, pictured there, stopped right at this point in the race, got enough cautions to make the finish, although the handling on his car deteriorated in the final laps where he was passed by Martin Truex, who had fresher tires with 12 laps to go. Big worry time for the crew chiefs down here now. If you see a caution out in the next few laps, do they pit? Can they make it to the finish?
But fun for us, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, then you really get to see what happens when a calculator starts to smoke.
Clint Bowyer, the race leader, by about a half a second over Carl Edwards, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Busch. Past the halfway mark, what's going to happen next? You'll find out live on TNT.
Heartburn?
Painful.
Zantac.
Okay.
Zantac, quick.
Clint Bowyer has raced off to nearly a 2-second lead over Carl Edwards. Denny Hamlin runs third, Kevin Harvick fourth, and Kyle Busch fifth here in New Hampshire. Sunoco and TNT are teaming up to offer fans a chance to win 10,000 gallons of free gas with the Free Fuel 5000 sweepstakes. Go to freefuel5000.com and get details.
How many gallons? 10,000?
10,000 gallons.
That's a lot of money.
Well, it's Benny's favorite word.
Free?
Yes, sir. So Bowyer has had an outstanding car throughout the race, and you can see it right there. 94 of the 109 laps.
Look at the tires when they're even going down the straightaway. The pressures are so low in these things to try to get these cars down to the racetrack, get them on the track. They look like have flat tires.
Kyle Busch led the other 15 laps.
You know, after a caution flag, they're able to run with this 2 car for 4 or 5 laps, and then it's no con. There you see that left front tire almost flat, Wally, and the left rear.
How many laps before those come back up?
I think that's about as high as they're going to get right there.
That's it.
Dave?
I heard you guys talking about that issue under caution, and I went up to Dan Deringhoff, the crew chief, and I said, Dan, did you get all the air in the left front? He just smiled. They know they're running them low, but that is the way that you got to set up these cars these days. Of course, it builds pressure during the run, but as you see, it's still pretty low.
Does it have a funny feeling in those first few laps?
The first few laps, it's kind of feels like your tires are squishy, but then once you get some heat in them, they grip. Obviously, they're gripping around that 2 car because that thing just looks unbelievable right now.
112 laps are complete. Clint Bowyer continues to lead, and we'll take you through the rest of the field when we come back to New Hampshire. Bowyer, Edwards, Hamlin, Harvick, and Busch.
You like it fresh and green.
Clint Bowyer in that 2 car has 9 top 10s in 19 races this season and only 2 finishes worse than 18th. He hasn't been to victory lane since October of last year at Memphis, but he is out front and dominating this afternoon in New Hampshire. Let's take you through the field, starting with Dave Burns.
And Bill, talking to his crew chief earlier today, I commented on the great qualifying run today, but he said, you know what, it wasn't easy getting there. I'm tearing my hair out and during practice sometimes with Clint. We weren't good during practice. We made all kinds of changes. We also did that at Phoenix, a race we led with this car. Seems to be working again. Alan?
Carl Edwards is running second. He called into his team on the radio a little while ago, said, I'm just going to ride here for a while and let the number 2 car burn his stuff down in front of me. Well, you can interpret that 2 ways. That was either a polite way of saying I can't run with him, or a little bit of racing strategy there, Dave.
Alan, Denny Hamlin seems to have settled down a little bit after the earlier confrontation, but I think he knows who's in his rear view mirror. He's commenting on the car, just still a little bit tight in the center of the corner. Won't turn as well as he likes, but for now, he's holding his position. Alan?
Dave, the 21 of Harvick has reeled in the 20 of Hamlin, looking down to the bottom, then easing back up to the outside. He's led over 400 laps here, but he's never won here on the Magic Mile. Now, Harvick's car was loose. You heard him say that on the radio. Owner Richard Childress told him to change his line a little bit and give him some other advice. It seems to have helped. Alan?
Earlier in the race, Kyle Busch had his team put a spring rubber in the right rear of his car to help its handling after a fairly lengthy debate over to make that time-consuming adjustment or do something else. Kyle called in a while earlier, said, "You're probably going to hate me for this, but I might want you to take that back out." We'll see if they choose to do it and give up some spots on the pit stop. Paul Menard has moved his way up from 24th starting position to where he runs now solidly in the top 10. This 25-year-old from Eau Claire, Wisconsin recently completed a climb from one of this sport's rising stars to its most recent new winner.
Paul Menard looking for his first career victory.
Paul Menard works his way back into turn 3 for the final time.
Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Paul Menard wins tonight in front of the home crowd at the Milwaukee Mile.
It's the most fun racing I've ever done. I'd like to do that again sometime this coming winter. I've played football for 7 years, and it's tough. You know, we'd play our games Friday night, then leave to go to Minnesota or somewhere to race our legend car on Saturday night. And I always had my thumbs broke or something was taped up on me trying to drive one-handed, so it was tough.
Paul trying to follow up that first NASCAR Busch Series victory with another one here today. He's risen from 25th into the top 10 and having a great run, Marty.
Alan, in order to be fast here at New Hampshire, your car must cut in the middle of the corner, meaning it must turn. For Dave Blaney, it just will not do that right now. The car is a handful at this point. He told him, the crew, fellas, we're going to need a big change if we're going to get up to the front and keep up with these guys. Nice, solid top 10 day, though. Chasing him down, Johnny Sauter. Very fast in the middle part of this run. He said the back end of this car is just sliding all over the place, but the last adjustment she made for me really helped the car. Currently, Sauter is in the 8th position. How about this run for Scott Riggs? A moment ago, I mean, literally like 25 laps ago, he was back in 17th. Now he's charged to the field. He's in 9th. He said the car's a little bit loose off the corners. Can't be aggressive with the gas like you would like, but he is charging up to the field. Matt?
Rounding out the top 10 is Jeff Burton in the 77 car. Crew Chief Gene Need made a great call back on lap 82. Burton's water temperature had climbed to 250. They pitted, took tape off the grill to get more air in to cool the water down. Also, they made a wedge adjustment. The car too free by itself, but too tight in traffic. Burton says it's gotten better, but they still have a lot of work to do, AB.
Yeah, J.J. Yaley probably feels the same way about his car. A lot of work to do, Matt, because he just haven't been able to get it where he can move up through traffic as we check that race for second place. Kevin Harvick, 21. Denny Hamlin, 20. Let's see if it's a clean pass or if they tangle a little more here. What do you think, guys?
They've been racing pretty clean, and that's what I said earlier. I think they got it out of them system. They both have cooled down now, and as long as they race each other clean and they stay this way, I don't think there'll be any problems.
Go ahead and pick it up on the 18 there, Alan.
Yeah, passes can take a while to happen here in New Hampshire, huh? Just talking about J.J. Yaley, Hamlin's teammate, just haven't been able to get his car adjusted where he can move up through traffic. So they continue to work on that number 18 car, hoping they can get it where they can come up with a top 5 finish. Scott Wimmer, as we continue going through the field in the box on the left side of the screen. Here's a car that was a lap down earlier in the race. That 66 machine, he started 20th, got put a lap down, but he got the lucky dog at lap 79, pitted at lap 81, made adjustments to the car. He's moved himself up inside the top 15. Matt?
Top of your screen, the 41, Reed Sorensen running 13th, rebounding well. The car cosmetically looks a little rough, but not running too badly after that spin. His car a little crazy, he says, for the first 3 or 4 laps on the beginning of a run, but then it shatters the right rear on that 41 of Sorensen, looking for a second straight top 10. Marty?
Well, Matt, even after the damage earlier on, Jason Leffler turning some fairly good lap times. There was not a whole lot of damage on the 38 car. They slapped some fresh tires back on it, sent him on the racetrack. He does, as we said, have fresher tires than most of the other teams, but turning some pretty impressive lap times right now, Dave.
Marty, Mark McFarland is back in the 88 car, missed 2 races because of a wreck at Milwaukee, had physical therapy done to his shoulder. He told me today I had 3 options. They could do surgery on it, I could have physical therapy, or I could do nothing. I'm really glad I chose PT because they worked me hard and I haven't felt bad at all in the car this whole weekend.
Thanks, guys. That's the top 15. Then it's Biffle, Wallace, Waltrip, and Todd Cleaver rounding out the 19 cars on the lead lap. Boyer leads by a little over 4 seconds over Carl Edwards, but the Denny Hamlin-Kevin Harvick thing has been a blast to watch. Boyer out front, Edwards is second. We'll watch the rest of them as we take a break from New Hampshire. You're watching the NASCAR Busch Series live on TNT. TNT Sports live at the New Hampshire International Speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire. There is the race leader, Clint Boyer, 4 seconds ahead of Carl Edwards. And Kevin Harvick now runs second. And Denny Hamlin, check that, back to third, and Denny Hamlin is fourth. So it's Boyer, Edwards, Harvick, Hamlin, and then Kyle Busch, your top 5.
And all of a sudden, Boyer, the 2 car, having trouble passing Todd Cleaver in 06. Cleaver is the last car on the lead lap. He is 19th.
Yeah, and if you start having trouble here, this is where these guys will really cut into your lead. And this is where Boyer's got to be really patient, not make a mistake, and get into somebody right now. And it's frustrating because you know you're faster. But then again, Cleaver's not wanting to go a lap down. So, I mean, they're all racing for a reason.
Just got pinched in there behind the wounded 35. Allen?
And one of the things that's going on, Bill, with that 06 car is his team knows that Clint Boyer's not far away from making a green flag pit stop. They know if they can keep their man out in front of Boyer, he's going to peel off and they're going to get a little cushion going here because they can run farther on fuel.
Boyer last stopped on lap 57, getting close to his pit window, as Allen pointed out. Tear up the highway with the new Smokey and the Bandit Special Edition DVD. It's in stores now.
So that could mix things up if these guys that pitted on lap 57 were to make a pit stop. And then we've had several cautions since. Several cars have made a pit stop. They stay on the racetrack. Then the caution flag comes out and catches these guys a lap down. Boy, these NASCAR races are so hard to win.
But Boyer, Edwards, Harvick, Hamlin, Kyle Busch have not stopped since lap 57.
Yeah, if anything, they'd like to see the yellow come out right
Because the pit window is a little under 100 laps, around 95 or so, basically. And they're closing in on 90 right about now. There's Harvick in third, and let's show you how he got there.
We saw him race underneath the 20 car of Denny Hamlin several times. And up in 3 and 4, once again, Harvick was on the inside of Denny Hamlin. And Wally, when he came off turn 4, the 20 car got a little bit loose, had to squeeze out of the gas.
But they had a good race. They were racing side by side for 5 or 6 laps and raced each other clean.
Harvick about 8.5 seconds behind the race leader. So
Harvick's running pretty good
yes.
lap times. I know some of these guys are in traffic right now, but I don't know if Kevin's car is coming into him a little bit better than the last run, or Boyer and Edwards are just in a lot of traffic.
We're working lap 140. Harvick's about 9 seconds behind the race leader. 60 to go. Kevin with the huge lead.
Now, you know, Kevin was really complaining about the car being loose after the pit stops they made, but it looks like it's gone back to the push aside. It looks very tight right now.
Matt?
Bill, it has tightened up. In fact, 4 laps ago, Kevin told his crew chief, Todd Barrier, I want a small adjustment. Earlier, they were looking at making a significant, maybe wedge and air pressure adjustment. Now they're looking for just a small air pressure adjustment because the car has tightened up, not as free as it once was.
Yeah, and I think probably, Matt, they don't want to go too much is because he really had his hands full, you know, on that restart. So if they make another big change, he's going to be way too loose for those first 10 or 15 laps.
Somebody wants their driver on pit road. Started to say Harvick with a big lead in the championship standings, over 300 points over Carl Edwards. And Clint Boyer The race leader heading for his pit stall on lap 143. He's got a long way to go, but he's heading for you, Dave.
And Bill, you mentioned it last time in, lap 57 for the glove save that wasn't a beauty. He hasn't said anything about changing the car. We suspect they're just going to put 4 tires on the car, perhaps a slight air pressure adjustment to make sure he doesn't tighten up near the end of this run, but he hasn't asked for anything. Car running extremely well. 4 tire change for the leader. AB.
And Kyle Busch will follow the leader down pit road. This is about 7 laps sooner than they were planning on pitting, but they don't want to give up the speed on fresh tires to the leader. They pull a strip of tape off the grill, they'll make an adjustment to the track bar, and they look to pull a spring rubber back out of the right rear that they put in before. Good work so far for the Hendrick team and Kyle Busch. A lot of work on this green flag pit stop, as a matter of fact.
Taking a long time, too.
Yeah, well, that's a lot to do, Bill. You want to pull that rubber back out and make the track bar adjustment. The same guy has to do both of those things.
No, Alan, the caution flag comes out.
Car in the wall in turn 4.
Caution down, caution down. Aaron Fike in the 33 car has spun. What did I say about Clint Boyer making that pit stop and then the caution flag would have come out?
Not good.
His worst nightmare came true.
Would he be the lucky dog, though?
Don't know.
Have to wait and see.
I bet she's a lucky dog.
He is.
Well, then, how blessed?
Because
he's going to stay on the racetrack. All the other cars, he'll be leading.
Exactly.
Dave?
It came out at the right time for him. Sorry, Dave.
No, that's okay. His words after that caution flag came out, though, guys. Now what? And, of course, he was the lucky dog, so it got better.
Second time Aaron Fike has brought out the caution today.
Looks like Mike Wallace, the 1 car, might have gotten in the back of him going in turn 3 in the middle of the corner.
Didn't hit anything.
Kept it off the wall. There's another angle. It's already underway here. We'll have to wait and see where Kyle Busch comes out in the scoring as well. Currently scored 1 lap down.
Well, there can only be 1 lucky dog, so we know one of those guys is going to be a lap down. Marty?
Well, Scott Riggs was awfully fast in the middle part of that run, guys. He says it's about a 6.5 tight on a scale of 1 to 10. Down up 2 rounds on the track bar, rather a pound on the right rear tire, trying to loosen that car up. Matty?
Marty, you can see how much these drivers are using brakes by looking at the front tires on Harvick. Small air pressure jump. They backed up what they did on the car before because the car was tight the first run.
Bottom of your screen, Denny Hamlin already leaving pit road. They made a chassis adjustment and an air pressure adjustment, 4 tire change, trying to help Denny's car roll through the center of the corner better. Alan?
And Carl Edwards, an air pressure adjustment on his car. 4 tires stop, and they get him out first off of pit road. We'll see where that puts him on the restart.
We'll sort out the scoring when we come back to New Hampshire. 54 laps to go. Could be pretty interesting with Clint Boyer coming from the back.
Every week, millions of viewers are making Monday night drama's biggest night of television. And this Monday, 2 all-new episodes. It all starts with The Closer, the show critics call too good to ignore.
Someone just confessed.
Followed by the smash hit of the summer, Saved. 2 smash hits, 1 giant night. All new episodes of The Closer at 9, followed by Saved at 10. Monday night, only on TNT.
He's going to win his 3rd Daytona 500. What?
Carl Edwards is the race leader as the green flag comes out at New Hampshire. Clint Boyer has led 127 laps today. He's clearly had the best car. Was caught on after pitting by a caution flag. Is the lucky dog, but by rule has to start at the tail end of the longest line.
Yeah, I was thinking that he would be in front, but you're right, Bill. He had to go all the way to the end of the longest line. It's going to be fun to watch him come through this traffic. Not for him, but for us.
Scored in 16th on the restart.
The problem with all that is that Carl Edwards has got a fast race car. He's out front, and he's going to be gone by the time Boyer gets through all this traffic. The only, yellows will play into his favor if they get some caution flags, but it's going to be tough to make that track position up.
We saw Kyle Busch, who also was on pit road just before the caution came out. He's 17th. That's Busch in the 5 car. He's at the tail end of the lead lap now. Here's our freecreditreport.com pit summary. Boyer went in as the race leader. then restarted 16th. Carl Edwards took over the lead. Harvick picked up a spot. That's the spot that the 2-car gave up. Allen.
Yeah, Chad Walter, talking about Kyle Busch, who's out there in front of the leader. You mentioned him a second ago, Bill. There he is in that 5-car. He's a mile behind, basically. His crew chief, Chad Walter, had planned on staying out another 7 laps, but I talked about earlier, he did not want to give up the speed on fresher tires to Clint Bowyer that he would by pitting 7 laps later than Bowyer. That's why he brought Kyle in. When the caution came out and they found out they were trapped on the tail end, he basically came on the radio and apologized to Kyle. One of those things that happens in racing. That's why those crew chiefs have a tough job.
Michael Waltrip just safely made it back to pit road after having what appears to be a left side tire going down.
I think he made some contact with another car on the backstretch, knocked a fender in on a tire.
It looked like a lot of damage on the left side of the car, but let's see if we can get a better look at it.
Watch the middle of the screen here.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Gets clobbered pretty good by Mike Wallace.
And there we see why Michael had to go to pit road to get that fender off the tire.
And a good job hanging on to it there, too.
And all Carl Edwards can do is watch this terrific battle between Dave Blaney in 32 and Kyle Busch in 5 as they try to be the first car in front of the leader. Both cars right now are in front of the leader. They want to stay in front of Carl Edwards.
Because if the caution came out, they'd be back at the tail end of the lead lap, or back basically pick up a whole mile under caution.
But he needs to get by these guys, because if he looks in the mirror, he's going to see a couple of guys coming pretty hard. There's Jeff Burton with the left rear flat.
Wow.
Jeff was running in the top 10.
And the car normally driven by Bernie Lamar. Something else Carl Edwards can think about is that Clint Bowyer has made his way to 11th.
Already? Yes, he has.
Marty Snyder.
Well, as you guys would imagine, you talked about Dave Blaney right ahead of Carl Edwards in that yellow 32 car. He's extremely frustrated right now because they've had a top 10 car all afternoon long, and this is exactly what he was worried about. He said his car just will not handle in the middle of the corners, and he can't keep it down enough to keep Carl Edwards behind him. He's trying, but it's awfully hard. Alan?
Marty, it's kind of a dilemma for Carl Edwards, and Benny and Wally, you've both been in this situation before as drivers. How hard does he press to clear these lap cars, knowing Clint Bowyer's coming back from behind, and he's got Kevin Harvick right behind him as well? Or does he need to pace himself, save some fresh tires for the ending laps of this race in case Bowyer gets there later? How hard do you press, and how do you make that decision, right?
I think, Alan, if you've got a really good car, which looks like Carl has, I think I would be pressing it. The 32 is obviously struggling right now, so I would try to get to his bumper and loosen him up so I can get by him, because right now you've got to put as much distance as you can. You know Bowyer's coming, and the only way you're going to get away from Bowyer is on clean racetrack. These guys are holding him up. Also, you look in the mirror and you got Harvick and Hamlin right behind you, so I think you've got to press.
There's a guy that's pressing, Clint Bowyer.
But look at all that traffic that he has in front of him. He just can't. He has to struggle so much to try to get through this traffic.
Picked up 7 laps. Check that. Picked up 6 positions in 7 laps, Dave.
The question I've got, Bill, though, is on this racetrack, if it stays green, he's still about 9 seconds behind the leader. Does he have enough time? Some racetracks you can make up a lot of ground, you know, coming back through the field if you've got the best car. But here, I don't know.
Here we go.
A lot of time to make up, Dave.
This is the race for second.
Get some contact right there.
Harvick in the 21 and Hamlin in the 20. This has been going on throughout the day.
And Paul Menard, that 11 car, has a great seat.
Now, we talked about this earlier. Okay, now Paul sees what's going on. So he's going to go, well, let me see. Let me let these guys rough each other up, and maybe I can turn underneath them and get them both.
Yeah. This is the best thing that could happen to Carl Edwards, the leader. Look at the distance he's put on Harvick in second spot as those two cars try to race each other.
Dave pointed out that Clint Bowyer was 9 seconds behind the race leader. He's already knocked that down to about 7.5 and still trying to weave his way through traffic.
Yeah, what Bowyer needs really is a caution to come out and race that 7 seconds and then get another run at it. He obviously has a fast race car, but it's going to be tough to make 7 seconds up on the racetrack.
Working on John Andretti and Stacy Compton. That's not for a position on the leaderboard, but it's for position on the track. Carl Edwards up front, the Missouri native, trying to get another win in the NASCAR Busch Series. 34 laps to go here in New Hampshire. Carl Edwards, the race leader, by about 0.6 of a second over Kevin Harvick. Denny Hamlin has fallen about a half second behind him. Then it's Paul Menard in the top 4. Hey, race fans, Brass Eagle, the world leader in paintball equipment, is offering a VIP Nextel Cup race weekend sweepstakes. Visit brasseagle.com-TNT for more details.
Handball, you ever do that? Paintball?
I was just thinking about it. Have you ever been hit by one?
No, I haven't.
I've got some of those.
I was afraid of that.
I'd love to shoot you with one.
But I can't wait to get the Pocono then. Carl Edwards having a fine run. Clint Boyer is in the 9th position and now 9.4 seconds behind Edwards. Pitted under the green, then the caution came out. Boyer has led 127 laps.
Yeah, Boyer doesn't have a shot, I don't think, unless we get a caution.
But we had a similar situation here a year ago. Didn't we, Alan?
Yeah, we did, Bill. Martin Truex Jr. hit it on lap 159 in this race. And I believe it was 12th. He restarted, came back through to take the lead for the final time inside the final 15 laps. It can be done. The difference between last year and this year, Truex was on a little bit fresher tires than some of the guys he was passing. But boy, I'll tell you, the strongest Boyer's car's been today. Of course, I'd like to take the opposite side from Wally on anything anyway, but I might have to question that one, Wally.
But AB, was there no cautions in those laps?
No, there were several cautions, and I do agree with what you're saying that he does need some yellow flags to close that gap up to Carl Edwards. If he can get a couple, it might be really fun those last few laps, huh?
It sure would. And we'll have to find out from Dave what Boyer's tire situation is, because if the caution was to come out, the race leader's going to stop or not. What's Boyer's tire situation down there, Dave?
4 fresh ones, Bill. 4 fresh ones.
The window strap.
He's got them. He needs them.
Okay. What were you looking at, the 11?
There was a window strap on the 11 car that's loose right there.
There you go. So NASCAR taking a look at that. Menard runs in the 4th position. He's about 4 seconds behind Carl Edwards. Then it's Harvick and Hamlin up front.
Every 30 seconds in America, someone
Carl Edwards finished 2nd here last July in his only Busch race here at New Hampshire. He's trying to become the 20th different winner in 20 races this season. Let's take you through the field real quick. Carl Edwards is up front. Let's start with Alan.
And the man who will slide into the picture in the upper left is his crew chief, Pierre Cattell, a veteran Nextel Cup Series mechanic, but new to the crew chief's role this year. When he took the job, he wondered, would I be able to get it done? Well, they won at Charlotte Memorial Day weekend, again at Nashville in June. Pierre Cattell trying for win number 3 as a crew chief today. Matt?
The guy trying to chase him down is Kevin Harvick twice. He has finished 2nd here in New Hampshire, trying for that first W. Hasn't said much, but the car a lot better at the beginning of the run compared to the past 2 runs today, Dave.
Denny Hamlin started the day 3rd, runs 3rd, but it's been a frustrating day trying to get to the front and get around Kevin Harvick, frankly. Car is tightest it has been all day. Denny not happy right now.
And Paul Menard following Denny Hamlin on the track in his 11 car. Menard won in his home state of Wisconsin last month. Well, he's got his car chief, shock specialist, tire specialist, and 2 mechanics from New England on this team. They'd love a great finish today, Marty.
Alan, this has been a terrific day for Johnny Sauter. Started 14th. Currently, he's in 5th. And if he can finish here, it would be his first top 5 finish of the season. Johnny with an awesome effort this afternoon. Scott Riggs behind him. Believe it or not, this team has not finished in the top 10 since Bristol back in the spring when Riggs did it, and he finished 6th in this race car. Having a fun time today, currently in the 6th position, Alan.
J.J. Ailey's team's made so many adjustments on the day, just about need a second pad to write them all down, but they persevered. You see he's picked up 10 spots, and he's up to 7th as the laps run out. And a great persevering day for Scott Wimmer as well. A lap down earlier, got the lucky dog back just before the last restart. His crew chief, Newt Moore, said, I see a top 5 in your future, Scott. Dave?
The good news for Clint Boyer was that he was the lucky dog, but there wasn't a lot of joy back in the pits here. I think they knew the task at hand. If it stayed green, it has, and he still hasn't caught up to the leaders, guys.
Hasn't worked out for him, Dave. He runs 9th. Greg Biffle rounds out the top 10. There are 15 cars scored on the lead lap. Just 19 laps separating Carl Edwards from his 3rd Busch win of the year.
Hey, Tony. Sorry about spinning you out last week, man.
Oh, no problem, Jeremy.
Hey, Tony, where do you want this Jeremy Mayfield pinata?
It's for my niece's birthday. Hold on. Natalie, where's the Jeremy Mayfield pinata go?
Just have Dave leave it in your truck.
So what were we talking about?
Get a new Nextel walkie-talkie phone for just $49.99 after $50 mail-in rebate. Nextel, only from Sprint.
I can't believe it! What's Kenseth waiting for?
AmeriQuest thinks everyone deserves.
NASCAR Busch Series racing from New Hampshire International Speedway on TNT is brought to you by Nextel. Get closer to the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series with Nextel from Sprint. By AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American Dreams. And by Subway Restaurants. Subway, drive hard, eat fresh. 14 laps to go, and Carl Edwards out front by 0.8 of a second over Kevin Harvick. Then it's Denny Hamlin, Paul Menard, and Johnny Sauter in the top 5.
But you said 0.8. Folks, that's not much.
How about the leader, Alan?
Well, Bill, you know, what race drivers like to do most is race, right? Well, already this week, Carl Edwards well into an Ironman attempt here in New England. He ran a 100-lap dirt modified race up in New York on Wednesday night. Then he came here, practiced and qualified a NASCAR Whelen modified tour machine. He raced that earlier today, was involved in a crash, came up some laps short of the scheduled 100-lap finish. Now 200 laps in the NASCAR Busch Series car today, 300 laps in the Nextel Cup Series car tomorrow. That adds up to over 600 laps of racing in a week to me, and I know my math is shaky, Wally, but you'll go with me on that one, won't you?
I'll go with you on that.
That's a fun week for a race driver, getting behind the wheel for that much time and picking up a trophy on top of it.
Not
priceless.
Not bad.
Priceless. There you go.
There's Clint Boyer.
Trying to take over that 6th position from Scott Riggs in the 9 car.
This is about 9 seconds behind the race leader. Clint Boyer led 127 laps in this race. He pitted under green. Then the caution came out. He was the lucky dog, had to restart at the tail end of the longest line. So he restarted 16th on lap 150. It was about 40 laps ago. He's only been able to make his way up to about the 7th position.
Harvick a little quicker. He's been a little bit quicker than Edwards the last couple of laps. Kevin Harvick has, but not by much.
We talked about the 2 car, Clint Boyer. He and Kyle Busch in the 5 car both pitted about the same time, just before the caution flag came out. Boyer caught the lucky dog. Yes, he had to start at the end of the longest line, but he's battling and taking over the 6th position. Kyle Busch is back in 16th position because he is still 1 lap down.
Yeah. Raced hard to try and stay on the lead lap, but couldn't do it. Boyer gets that position, but he's going to run out of laps.
Yeah, it just kills you, too. I mean, he's very... I mean, to have a dominant car like he's had and just have that caution come out just the wrong time, when you know you've got the best car out there and you can't capitalize on it, just very, very heartbreaking.
His consolation prize today might be the fact that this car is so good he can take some of that information and put it in his Cup car, because he wasn't overly happy with that.
Very small consolation.
That's what
it's
I said.
Still, it's tough
I said small consolation.
Yeah.
Carl Edwards on a roll in the last 7 races in the Busch Series. He won at Lowe's, won at Dover, and a top 5 finish in 5 of the last 7.
And I'll tell you what, I said earlier that Blaney was a slower car holding him up. He swung right in there, stayed on the lead lap.
And Carl Edwards is now just 0.7 of a second in front of Harvick. I realize there are only 6.5 laps to go, but.
And I think Carl probably saw that 21 car coming in the mirror and decided, you know what, I better step this thing up a little bit. I got 10 laps to go, and I better drive this car a little bit harder.
Allen?
Yeah, well, one of the things that's happened there, Bill, Benny, and Wally, is that Carl Edwards has gotten up behind Dave Blaney, and the aerodynamics have come into play. The proximity to Blaney's rear spoiler there has taken some of that downforce off the nose of Carl's car. He can't turn as well as he needs to cut and go by Blaney. And really, what's the motivation for Blaney to let him go at this point? He catches a caution, and he can come right back around and get in the hunt. There is no lucky dog inside the final 10, so Blaney shouldn't move over for him.
And Harvick is hustling.
Picked up almost a tenth of a second that last lap, and we can see that Harvick is gaining on Carl Edwards.
And Edwards can see it.
Yes, he can.
In his rearview mirror. Harvick has not led a lap today, but has been inside the top 5 most of the afternoon.
I was going to say Harvick's running a little bit different line, but maybe it's because Scar is pushing, but he is running a little bit higher through the corners than Edwards is.
See, once again, Harvick faster than the leader.
5 to go.
Down the backstretch.
Now a lot of traffic in front of Carl Edwards, so he's got to get going.
And Harvick talked about, and we followed it through most of the day, how his car did not handle well when he got trapped behind somebody else.
Well, the problem is with Harvick too is Kevin's using a lot of racetrack to go fast. It's gonna, it's gonna be really tough to get side by side and race somebody when you're needing the whole track for those kind of times.
And Blaney moves over the 32 car and lets Edwards and Harvick go by. Class move by that young man, because he realizes that we have a race for the win coming up.
That was really classy.
Yeah, it really was.
Because he's fought long and hard for that position.
He stayed in front of him for what, 20, 30 laps.
Kenny Wallace on the inside. Leaders go by.
Now Edwards has clean racetrack in front of him.
Harvick's trying to get there. 2.5 to go. Two to go this time for Carl Edwards. Harvick in his mirror, but can't get to his bumper.
2 to go, man. 2 to go.
Clint Boyer has made his way to 6th. 7.5 seconds behind Edwards.
Yeah, Carl's car is just getting through the center of the corner, just a little bit better. Harvick can get in the corner a little bit better, but Carl can get through the center and on the gas better than Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick finished 2nd here in 2001 and 2003. White flag is out. Last time around for Edwards. Benefited from a caution after the 2 race leaders had pitted. Down the backstretch for the final time. So Carl Edwards with a racing doubleheader ran the modified race here earlier and takes the checkered flag at New Hampshire. Edwards wins in Loudon, holding off Kevin Harvick.
It's over, right?
Yeah, it's over. Carl, it's over.
It's over. Woo, good job, guys. Man, that's awesome. Great work. That's fun.
Clint Boyer got to 5th.
Johnny Sauter, where'd he come from? He's 6th.
Yep. Strong run for him. But again, it's like you talked
Great
about.
job. I really appreciate it, guys. That was fun.
Johnny's got a lot of laps at Milwaukee. This track very similar to Milwaukee.
And Menard, who was the winner in Milwaukee, finished 4th.
So you were right. Is that what you want? Is that what that card you're holding up says?
Yes.
Benny was right. Good job, BP. And we all know what's coming now.
Donut, you think?
No, backflip.
Oh, backflip. Oh, yes, that's right. That's right. This is the flipper. Oh, yeah.
4th win of the season. And no grass here in New Hampshire to do it on. '20th driver to win in the 20 races here in New Hampshire. His 8th Busch Series win. His 3rd win. His 3rd win of 2006. He's going to celebrate. The fans will look on. We'll take a break. Then we'll take you to Victory Lane. Carl Edwards, the race winner here in New Hampshire.
Now, this here, that's the drain plug. It lets the oil drain out into the pan. Remember, she's got a lot of mileage on her, but one day, she'll be all yours.
Help keep the family car in the family with Valvoline Max Life, the most technically superior high-mileage motor oil. It's specially formulated to recondition seals to help prevent leaks, helping your high-mileage engine run for a long, long time.
Carl Edwards has made it to Victory Lane here in New Hampshire, and the celebration is about to continue. Let's go down to Matt Yoakum.
20 different NASCAR Busch Series races on the Magic Mile, 20 different winners, and Carl Edwards makes it an exciting one. Second here 1 year ago, and he has said awesome about 9 times to his guys. Now, a perfect 10 on the backflip, but he almost wipes out here in Victory Lane. What were you thinking when you saw all those lap cars in front and Harvick start to reel you in?
I've got to send Dave Blaney a Christmas gift, man. That was really nice. I don't know what It Has to Be Haas is, but I stared at that back side of his car for a long time. And, yeah, those Busch cans are slippery. Man, I just can't thank my team enough. I really have to thank the Bodine Bobsled guys for letting me drive their modified. Wrecked it this morning, but AmeriQuest and Hinkle and this Fusion really came through, man. It was a blast.
Especially after the up and down month of June that this team had.
Yeah, that was, and I have to say, Clint Boyer, man, it's cool. He was so fast and he just got some bad luck, but yeah, after that month we've been having, this is great. Hopefully it carries over tomorrow, man.
Roller coaster month of June, back in Victory Lane in July. His first win here on the Magic Mile. To Marty Snyder.
Well, Matt, Kevin Harvick finished his second and walked me through those final few laps. Looked like you were tracking Carl Edwards down for a little while, but you just couldn't get to him. Why?
Yeah, I caught him and just got about 5 from him, and he got by the 32 and just kind of started to pull away. But all in all, a good day for our U.S. Coast Guard Chevrolet. Car was a little bit loose there in the middle of the race and a little tight there at the end, but guys did a good job and just got to keep at it.
Kind of an interesting day with you and Denny Hamlin. What started all of that?
Just a bonehead driving down the back stretch, running into the back of me. So he, you know, you can't run into the middle, into people in the middle of the straightaway and not usually cause a problem. So just, you know, rookie move, I guess.
And so far, those two have yet to talk, although Kevin did give him a little bit of a stare earlier on. Dave?
With Clint Boyer now, who dominated this race, but obviously the caution coming out at a bad time. What went through your mind when you saw that caution?
Trouble. Just plain trouble. But all the guys on the AC Delco Chevrolet, they've been working hard, digging deep, and we got this thing turned around and going in the right direction. We keep knocking on the door to our first win of the season. We're going to get it. Just Lady Luck's not on our side, and you know, sometimes you need a little luck, and unfortunately we didn't have it today, but like I say, we're coming.
And you wish you could have this car tomorrow, but you can't.
Yeah, this hot ride's pretty fast. I learned a lot, though. Definitely learned how to pass. Passed a lot of cars, and just call Gil over on the Sylvania Chevrolet tonight, and hopefully we can come up with a good package to be good tomorrow.
Disappointing end of the day for the 2-car. Alan?
With Paul Menard, started 25th, finished 4th today. That was a hard day's work, Paul.
Yeah, you know, we really didn't qualify as good as we hoped. Just got really loose in qualifying, kind of screwed up and tried overdriving it. But we knew we had a really good race car. My boys didn't let me down in the pits. They gave me awesome pit stops. I gained a lot of positions there, and spotter Stevie Reeves kept my nose clean out a couple of those wrecks too. So all in all, pretty good day. You know, 4th place is pretty good for the Sylvania Menard Chevy. You know, starting 25th is a long day.
He came in 7th in points. A good day on that front. Marty?
Well, Alan, we got the Kevin Harvick side of the story. Let's get the Denny Hamlin side of the story. So what started that incident with you and Harvick?
You know, it was a restart, and cars were sliding around a bunch, and I think he was going for a position on Boyer, and I got to the outside of him off of 2, and, you know, don't know whether his fault or not, you know, with a spotter or what it was, but, you know, he moved up, and I was up there, and ended up putting me in the wall. So I nudged him down the back straightaway, and just for a little displeasure of what he did, but you know, I wasn't going to wreck him or anything like that. So I released him before we got to the corner, and then every time after that, you know, we went at it. But still, that's water under the bridge, so with, and we'll go on next week.
Plan on going to chat with Kevin after this?
I don't know. I mean, we hadn't had a problem all year, so you know, he's not too upset, I'm sure, and I'm not too bad myself.
Real quick, it was a nice top 5 run, which you told me you needed this morning.
Yeah, we really did. We definitely had to do what all we could to get a top 5, and proud of this whole Rocco Automation crew.
And Denny told me this morning, you know, we just had a lot of frustrating runs lately. Top 5 is really all I want today, and that's what he got. Bill?
That's right, and he heads to Pocono next week with the Nextel Cup Series, where he got his first career win. Here's our Holiday Inn race recap. Carl Edwards in victory lane. Here's how we got there. The crowd on hand at New Hampshire, taking the green flag.
This guy just dominated the race. 2-car, Clint Boyer. I mean, he had the car to beat today. No question about it.
But on lap 57, see the 33 car throws his glove out the window. NASCAR held him for 2 laps for causing a caution play.
And he was very interesting on the radio, too. Some contact today, wild ride.
Tracy Hines in 12 gets in the back of Peyton Sellers in 31. Curtis Davis in 0 also involved.
Lap 89, Sorensen in the middle.
Not a good place to be going into turn 1 at Loudon. Get spun sideways, and a couple other cars get turned around, make some contact.
Carl Edwards benefits from a caution that really hurt Kyle Busch and Clint Boyer. The winner in Loudon. I see Scott Riggs, and I think Matt's down there somewhere.
Bill, he's debriefing with Tripp Bruce and Kenny Childers. So, first off, very solid run for a team that really needed it.
Yeah, these guys did need it. They've been struggling a little bit here lately, but they do a great job. And you know, I always tell them we always have an extra day to play with our car and work on our cars on the Cup side. And these guys got to make decisions and split decisions. And Tripp does a good job on this Swiss Dodge today. And had a miscue on the pit stop, the first pit stop, and lost a lot of positions. But I just hung in there and got a great pit stop the next time. Car just never was really good across the center of the corner. But man, it's a pretty fun day being a Busch car.
Learn any trends that you can carry over till tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I learned. We just learned more about the cars. You know, the cars are pretty close as far as direction they're set up. So learned a lot about the tires and learned a lot about the track. And, you know, just like I say, we're trying to pull every bit of information out of Tripp here as we can before tomorrow.
Finished 7th here in New Hampshire. Bill?
Thank you, Matt. Good run for Riggs and a big win for Edwards. Wins the 200-mile Busch race on Saturday, performs the backflip, and turns his attention to Sunday at New Hampshire.